It's 8 p.m. live on YouTube. It is Kidderminster Harriers fans podcast number 44 tonight for your viewing and listening pleasure. If you're on Spotify, please welcome Mr. Kidderminster John. Matty's back again, and me, Wes. This could be a short one tonight. We're hoping it won't be, but yeah, we really are. And also, we've got a bit of a sponsor tonight, Son of Beaches, a band by one of the Harriers fans, which is great. We're talking a little bit more about them. I've got some more information. It literally came in about 5 minutes before we came on. So this is a brilliant quote. You'll love this. Now, I'm not saying, right, it was cold in Worksop, but one member of the Harriers backroom staff described it as colder than my ex-wife. And we thought that was funny, So a different team to last Saturday at Worksop, possibly with one eye on fire. In fact, it must have been. Walker was up front on the right-hand side. You had AMS in the middle, nothing on the left-hand side. Walker, he did well. He made some great runs and stuff, but there's no real end product to the running. There was one great cross into the middle, but no one was there at all. But John, you'll love this. You'll absolutely love this because I know you've said about the lack of voices. So PK, Paul Kamambagi, he went over randomly to take an attacking throw-in right in front of us. And Luke spoke, shouting out to him. He said, "Put that effing ball down." And literally everyone in the box was like, everyone in the stand was like, "What? Okay. Okay, Luke." He's got a very large voice, very loud voice, that guy.
So first notice at Marine, to be fair, when he came on at Marine, and there was just an absolute lack of noise. He took it upon himself to lead the charge there. So, yeah, I think he's potentially one of the voices that we could get in.
Well, there you go. He was in. So first half review, I said it would be penalties because it was just like one of those games, to be honest with you. And I was quite happy because, we got Dibbling goal. He's always good penalties. And it turned out that way. Joe Leasley was warming up in front of us, and there was so much love for Joe. Honestly, he was just doing a little bit of a river dance, then a bit of Strictly, and giving all that, trying to be warm and that kind of thing. Everyone's like, "Hey, Joe, you're the best, blah, blah, blah." And he was loving us so much that he missed a penalty for us, so that was good. Tony came off, actually, and we were like, "Why is he coming off?" And then he came around, when they've got to go off wherever they are and then walk around. And as he started walking around, it was quite obvious he was bleeding everywhere. So I think his stitches would have come undone, which is pretty gross. So that happened. And we won on penalties, and it was cold and a bit miserable and a bit dire, but we got through to the fourth round, which I've researched, and the fourth round draw is from 5 p.m. tomorrow, probably on Talk Sport 2. So you guys did not miss anything, John and Matt, to be honest with you. But we're through to the fourth round. I don't know how much money we made from that. Probably 50p and a bag of Cheetos or something. So that'd be good. That would keep the guys going. So who are you looking forward to in the fourth round? Matt, because John hates it. So
I'll let you go first, Matt.
Yeah. Well, if you hate the trophy, John, I don't hate the trophy, but I'm not. It's one of those where it's difficult to get into in these early stages until you get to like the quarterfinals, semi-finals. It's like the Carabao Cup, I suppose, for the league clubs. I don't think we've got the numbers to be fighting on two fronts. And I've had this debate with a number of people in the past and also prior to Saturday on Harriers Online Forum about if we lose, it's not the end of the world. Priority for me is getting to the top 7 and getting promotion. And, if we have to forego the trophy, then so be it. I know Adam Murray's mentioned a cup run, etc. And I think, the win for me yesterday is good because A, we've kept a clean sheet. B, Murray mentioned about dealing with pressure, which was key because I think we have swallowed a few times and we have shown a bit more strength and character with that, which is good. And it keeps up momentum after 2 good wins. But if you want to progress, I'd probably say a home draw against someone. But if I'm honest, it's about league for me. It's about Fold and Hereford and beyond that, and then trying to tackle what I think could be a very difficult January with 3 loan signings up, which we'll probably talk about later. Home draw if we want to progress and take it seriously. But I don't think we can have our cake and eat it with it, if I'm honest. Sorry to be a bit of a half empty, but that's my view on the trophy at this moment.
That's in the podcast. Thanks, guys. Thanks for showing us. So Murray did say in his interview afterwards that he said he wants to go far in the cup competition, but it's just come at the wrong time, especially with our injuries we've got. We always seem to have injuries every season, man. I don't know why, but it always seems that way. I was looking at Alf Church got through It'd be nice to play Mark Yates and his guys again. That'd be cool.
Cold Storer, isn't it, as well?
Yeah. Get those two legends back. That'd be fun. Liam just left a message. That's quite a funny message. Let's put that up, Liam. Leasley said, worst Kidderminster side he's seen in 10 years to miss a penalty 30 minutes later. Things you love to see. It's progression, Joe. Well, I don't like it that much either, to be fair, but there you go. So that was the FA Trophy. Now let's talk about right. Okay. So this chat came up yesterday. All right. Now I know exactly what you two are both going to say. But the question going around was, would you rather win at Wembley or be promoted?
Promoted 7 days a week, twice on a Sunday, 100%. It wouldn't.
Absolutely. And on that Sunday, I'd have a Matt Sleep Sunday dinner. I'll tell you, there's no way this season where we are now, and any attempt to prioritise the trophy is a complete mistake, in my opinion. I think we possibly 6 weeks ago would have had the personnel to be fighting on two fronts. Now we probably haven't, which is ironic because we've brought a couple more loan signings in. For me, it's all about promotion this year. I'll probably go to the next round of the trophy, I would imagine. I'd love, I will deign you with my presence, Wes, just for you. I owe you a program anyway, so I'd love it if it was a draw somewhere we haven't been before. There's loads of teams in the south that we haven't been to, Hornchurch, Chatham, places like that. And if not, then an Alvechurch at home would be lovely. I went to the Worcestershire Senior Cup game between Evesham and Alvechurch the other day, so it's good to see that Alvechurch are taking that seriously, unlike us. I
mean, I am. It's you.
No, Worcestershire Senior Cup. I'm talking about. Let's charity begins at home, Wes.
Calm down.
No, son. I think, absolutely. It's got to be 100% about the league this season.
Peter Nolan has made a comment, and it says the good and bad about Worksop Stadium. When you get to work, if you've never been, you get there, and it looks like some sort of like a theme pub. It's really weird. It just looks so strange. But he says, good chicken balti pie. Bad the plastic seats. I was sat in my scooter, so I didn't know. But I did need a wee. And I said, can I go to the disabled toilet? They're like, that's in the home end. I was like, are you kidding me? So I had to go all the way through at half time. And all these home fans just give me the eye. And I was like, Jesus. Went for a wee, came out. And then they shut, when they shut the, they bring the thing out, bring the players out, the big plastic thing. And then, so I couldn't get back. So I had to just sit there with all about 500 Worksop fans, and these kids were just giving me grief, man. That was fun. So that wasn't brilliant, but there you go. Dan saying, did they keep the away fans in the game for 20 minutes after the game? Done that when I went in August. Dan, they didn't. They let us all out. In fact, we had to go through the yellow gate, and they went through the other gate. But it was funny because the home fans were behind the other goal to start with, the first half, and then they all came. So literally, we were all just in the one end of the ground. But I don't think there's any grief. Well, there certainly wasn't where I was. It was just, I don't think I'd want to go there again, to be fair. But I've done it, and I didn't even type it off on Footballogy. In fact, I'm going to do that right now while I'm thinking about it. So will you be eagerly waiting for the draw tomorrow, boys, at 5 p.m?
I'll keep an eye out for it because it's always an interest, isn't it? But like I say, I think it's. John said about the prioritising. We had 10 people out yesterday? 2 obviously cup tied or whatever, but 8 people. We couldn't even fill the bench yesterday, and people are on about fighting on 2 fronts. Unless we're going to get 5 or 6 players in to replace these injured players, I can't see it. We've got to get out this league. This is our 3rd season in this league now. We've got to get out of it because before you know it, the rot will set in and it will just continue. We've got to get into this top 7 and. I'd happily go out tomorrow if it meant we got a top 7 finish. In fact, I'd snap their hand off, but we'll see what happens. Like John say, a nice away day for somewhere down south or by the coast, that would generate some interest, or maybe an Alf Church will bring in a good gate. That would be could be a 2,500 gate, because I'll probably bring a few for that. Could be a big game for them. But it's all about the league. It's all about Saturday now and Hereford Boxing Day, and then Telford. Those are the big ones for us. I'm going to get absolutely rinsed on Harriers online, but
no, you're right, mate. We can't fight for, especially being as we're saying we're suffering with injuries. We can't fight on every front, and we absolutely need to prioritise the league. If we were in a position where we were solidly second and we were 10 points clear with a playoff cushion, I'd say, yeah, let's go for getting to the later stages. But the money that you get for going through each round of the FA Trophy, unless you get into Wembley, it's crap anyway. The money you get for winning the ties is it's a pocket full of pesetas and a funny hat. It's nothing. It's not going to make any difference to our budget at all. So, yeah, I think we've probably covered that one now that we all agree, other than Wes. Let's.
Well, I can't agree, because that'd be a boring podcast. I want to go to Wembley again, man. I just want to go.
You can't have your cake and eat it, I think, is what me and John are trying to say. I think we'd like to do well in it and fight on it, but I don't think we've got the resources to do so, and something that's going to have to give, and it's prioritising, isn't it, for us? That's how we see it. We're not anti-trophy.
Saying I'd have played Alfie up front and rested AMS.
Who's Alfie? New signing?
You think so? Who's Alfie, John? You know Alfie. You know Alfie. Who's Alfie?
I'll tell you what. Kurt Willoughby. I was surprised he didn't start yesterday.
I was very surprised,
and I do wonder whether I'd be interested to see what's going on with him at the moment, because obviously we've signed Gassi, we've signed Hemo. I don't think Kurt's been used correctly in terms of, I think he's been playing out on the left, or he's been playing up front on his own when he needs a target man to go off, and that's where he had his best season at Chester, playing off Caton as a target man. Where it puts him, is he going to be moved on to accommodate to bring players in? Now we've got Hemmings and Gayassi, or that was surprising yesterday. I expected to see a couple more changes, maybe Louis Francis. I'd like to have seen Palmer given a going goal, because I know Dibble's had a couple of injuries apparently, just to give him a bit of a rest and how key he is. But Kurt was a big surprise yesterday, and I think it'd be good to discuss where we think he could be going with that.
He didn't look very happy on the bench when he was warming up front. He doesn't look happy at all. But I imagine strikers are never, players in general are never happy if on the bench and warming up and that kind of thing. But I did meet Willem yesterday. Willem is a fan of the podcast. Great to see Willem. He said, Amari Sterling James, what a free kick that boy has. Seems to be as well at Hereford. But where are we getting money for all these players that we're going to sign when we've got a load of players already? Some of them are crock and we're still paying for them. I don't understand where this money is going to come from. Is there a magic genie somewhere? We're rubbing his lamp, or what are we doing?
I don't think ASJ is on the radar anymore. Apparently he was when we were looking at Hemo, from what I've been told earlier. But I don't think we're going to be looking at wide players. We've got Gayassi, we've got Hemo, we've got Zander, we've got Walker. He also puts Kurt out there as well. I think if we are going to be bringing anyone in, it's going to be central midfield or centre half based with the injuries we've got. That's if we bring anyone in, which makes you wonder if one or two might have to move on that are probably on the periphery, but not really offering value for money in terms of they're not starting each week in order to accommodate. Because I might be wrong, but I'm hearing that the chairman and some of the investors he's got in have been very good at giving money in to bring in certain players this season.
Yeah.
Because we're obviously heavy anyway without the injuries and without the loan signing. So whether we are trying to bring someone in, which Murray said he is, how that's going to happen, whether there is still money there or can be available, or so you're going to have to cart a couple off if you want to bring someone in, and that could be a high earner.
John, yesterday at work, so I met someone very special for the podcast. He's got very good knowledge, this man. Do you know who this is?
Oh, is this Dr. Stephen?
Yes, it is, my friend.
Dr. Stephen. Good that, mate, it's last couple of away games. I've had a few people come up to me and have a chat. And it's great to meet Harriers fans that I haven't had to speak to previously, and that's happened in the Arms and that as well. And like I say, we have this chat every Sunday night, and I completely forget that people actually watch us talking. Feels like we're just chatting Harriers. But yeah, always great to.
He's even changed his handle, John.
It's Stephen.
The thing is, though, he does work. He works CBT, I think. Oh, I can't remember what it's called now. Therapy, something therapy. Dr. Stephen.
Behavioural therapy, that is.
That's the lad. I think it was that, if I remember correctly. Dr. Stephen, just let us know, mate. Let us know. Citrus Lee, what a legend. He says, my mate from Hereford told me last night Sterling James was coming back. Well, listen, I can't believe Citrus Lee's got a friend in Hereford to start with. So I'm not sure how much I believe that, to be honest. I mean, really? I mean, who got rid of him? Who shipped him out anyway?
He was released by Penn, wasn't he, for Cisse, wasn't
he? Yeah, but he wanted to go, didn't he? Because he was offered a decent deal.
Was it Ebbsfleet he went, wasn't it? I think.
Yeah.
Would you have him back, John? And Wes?
Is he fit? Does he stay fit? That's what we would think about at the moment. To be fair.
I'd probably have the same worry as you, Matt. Is we're adding to an already heavy budget with a player who, you know, is not the player he was when we had him first time round. I think again, it's that ex-players are really easy targets for us, and you know sometimes that works fantastically. I get the feeling, you know, only seen one game, but he's only had one game. I get the feeling with Hemo that's going to go well. With other players, it hasn't so much. And for me, if he's not doing the bizzo at Hereford, there's no reason to think that he would do for us.
But he scored a hat trick a couple of weeks back, didn't he? I'm sure he did. He scored a hat trick for Hereford. And
he scored a couple of late ones against Curzon, didn't he? They were all screamers with 3-0 down. But I don't think he gets in our current 11. He gives us something different in terms of his set piece. But I've been told he's not on the radar anymore. He was, but he isn't. Citrus Lee may be right, but some of the stuff I get told does happen.
And doesn't. But, you know, that's the way of the world. Listen, Matt, Dan, who you're replacing today, quite adequately replacing Dan, he says we've got loads of stuff coming. We've got loads of things. And then it turns out that it's just rubbish. Absolutely. I think Dan just says things to say things sometimes. Evening, Dan. Welcome.
Well, there was an odd rumour going around that Charlie Lutz was coming back the other week. He's ended up at Worcester City, which has put that to bed. Well, I don't know where that's come from.
I know exactly where that had come from, but I think he was just training with us for a bit of fitness while he was in the area to see what he was going to move to next, which you've obviously seen. And I'm very, very, very pleased that we've decided not to reloan him because I think he did a lot. He made a lot of good runs, but you know, so does Mo Farah.
We got players already to make those great runs, John. So we don't need someone else making great runs again. We really don't need that at all. Donald John saying if he's in contract with Hereford, imagine you'd have to pay a fee. I don't know. Do clubs pay fees in National North these days?
Someone's put a 7-day in, so it depends on the type of contract he's on. It's a part-time at Hereford. It depends whether if it's a 7-day one, I think it's just case you put the notice in, you get the player. Unless they're tied into a certain thing. But it's not always the case. If a club's trying to offload a player or players that unhappy that they're just let him go, sometimes a fee isn't involved. But I don't think we're going to be paying a fee for someone like, if it is him, it'd be sort of like trying to get Hemo on a permanent deal, that type of thing, or maybe a loan fee to keep him to the end of the season. I think that's the only time we're going to be spending money, not for OSJ.
Andy Carroll scored again, 6 minutes in for Dagenham yesterday, I saw. If you're Hemo and they're playing like one person up front in that team, you're thinking, no, that ain't happening, is it? I'm not getting in there anytime soon. But yeah, there you go. So it's one of them days yesterday. It was just cold. It was really cold. Really cold. And it all seemed a little bit pointless, and 0-0 didn't surprise me at all, to be honest with you. But there you go. So it's Kidderminster Harriers Fans Podcast, episode 44, 20 minutes in. What we're going to talk about now, boys, let's talk about, actually, Matt, you made a great shout earlier about the loans coming to an end in January. Surely we've got to be on that. surely that's got to be. We've got to have some news about those being extended. Surely.
Yeah, January's a worry, isn't it? So Paul Callenboy, Michael Garcia, and Ashley Hemmings, I believe all their loans are up in January. So that's 3 massive players for us. So we're doing great at the moment. Things seem to be clicking. We've got a tough game on Saturday, which will be interesting how we do against one of the better sides again at home rather than away. Then we've got a Boxing Day derby at Hereford. So we could finish this month really, really strongly. But then come January, that's a worry with those loan signings. It's whether we are able to keep those players. Hopefully we do, because I think Gass's goal record speaks for himself. Hemo's a club legend. I think Callum Boy has been brilliant since he's come in, and I think he's one of those types of players you need. Who just a stopper. Do you know what I mean? He's so effective in what he does, and he's been a really, really good signing. So that my concern is there's a lot of question marks in January with regarding those 3 players, and I think that could make or break a season on those futures. I think. I don't know what you lads think, but I'm a bit apprehensive about January.
Well, I'm looking at the fixtures. Sorry, John. Look at the fixtures for January. We start off 3rd of Jan at Curzon at home. The Macclesfield game that's been postponed. So the 10th. I'm not. Do you reckon we'll get another game in then, or have a free week?
Well, Macclesfield are in the situation they've actually got 3 games on one day, essentially, haven't they? Because the league fixture with us has been postponed because they were in the cup, but then they've also gone through in the trophy. So they've got to rearrange their trophy game because they're in the cup games. So then they've got to rearrange another league game. So they're going to end up with a right detritus on their hands in terms of fixtures. I think. Yeah, I can't see another game being rearranged for then. It's unlikely. But imagine what we do have then, Wes, is
your
trophy game.
What, when we go to the?
That's our next round. That is our next round of the trophy. So it's not a free weekend anymore. It's a trophy.
So Macclesfield wouldn't have gone ahead regardless anyway because of the trophy.
Oh, we're so good at the trophy. Really are. Anyway, but other fixtures. 17th, I can't make my wedding is Worksop at home. Then Scarborough. John, I believe you're going to Bridlington. I'll be there.
Yeah, I'll be going to Bridlington. Excited for another big away day. I think there'll be a few of us going up to that one.
Absolutely. And then Bedford Town, 27 Tuesday night in Bedford. I'll be there. And Alfreton on the 31st. I've got my ticket for that one as well. It cost me a tenner in the Black Friday sale, so that's all good.
Friday sale. Anyway, it's good to look forward to the fixtures, but just touching on the loans, I'm not worried at all. I don't think we'll have a problem extending any of those loans. I don't think there's a situation that they're going to be recalled. I think that all 2 of the teams, because there's 3 loan players in from 2 teams. Those teams have got steady replacements that they're happy with at the moment in those positions. So I don't think we'll have an issue at this stage of extending those loans, and I don't see why we wouldn't want to extend them. So another couple of months on each of those, I think, won't be an issue at all.
What about finances, John?
I don't think the finances will be an issue because it's an approved budget at the minute. It's an approved budget that's going out currently. I think to extend that for another 2 months, I don't think will be a massive problem. Obviously, Hemo's going to be the big money outlay there. But I genuinely don't think they would have gone through what they did and jumped through the hoops that they did if they were only planning on keeping him for a couple of months. I think he'll be here at the end of the season.
Did he sign a 1-year deal with them or a 2-year deal? Do you remember?
1.
Just the 1
year, I think. Yeah.
And that was going to be his. I imagine that was going to be his last season in the professional game. I would have thought. Take the big money, have your last season, win something. Happy days. But life doesn't work out that way, does it? Sometimes you just want to come home and see your friends and just play football again, that kind of thing. So if you're joining us in the comments, thank you so much for getting involved. We do it live so people can get involved, which is great. I spoke to Dan Mooney today, gave him our love. We're hoping for an update from Dan from the club at some point soon as well. That's all I'm going to say about that one.
The best, Dan.
Yeah. Cheers, Dan. So guys, listen, 25 minutes in. and I'm struggling now.
I think the really interesting point that we can Matt raised it is Willoughby. I was really surprised to see Willoughby not start yesterday. He's with Gayassi and Hemo in front of him, and then potentially based on the system we play, Show Silver and Amari as well. He's probably, if he is going to play through the middle, third choice, and even out wide, he's struggling to get game time, and I think that's going to continue to be the case, which is a real shame, real shame, because I think there's a player there and a player who's come in to play football. I don't think he's signed for us to sit on the bench and just take the money. I think he's signed because he wants to come in and play football and deliver. So what do you think, Matt? What is going to happen with the Willoughby situation? Because if you had to look at one player at the minute, you'd say, okay, well, if we do extend these loans to the end of the season, or if we maybe move for Gayassi on permanent, then what happens to Willoughby?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking at the moment, John. Whether he can't be happy sitting on that bench. He scored against Chorley, and then he sees Hemo come in. He's then continually on the bench. He gets overlooked for a game yesterday where you think you might start, and he's probably sat there wondering, well, what else have I got to do? I'll come off the bench and score. He scored against Corby not long back either. Yeah. I think he is our top scorer, isn't he? I think, has he got 5 now?
Yeah.
So he is our top scorer. I think it's a shame because I like you, John. We've spoken about Willie before. He's clearly a very, very good footballer. He's very sharp. He has got a reputation at this level, and I don't think we've used him correctly, and it's a bit of a shame on that front. But I hope we can get the best out of him, because you look at our goals for column, it's probably the 6th worst in the league, 5th worst in the league I've seen. But saying that, we've scored, we've scored 5 goals in the last 2 league games. It shows we're on a bit of an improving trend. But I won't be surprised. He's not going to want to sit here on the bench. I don't think he's here just to pick up a paycheck. He doesn't come across that way at all. You can tell that when he plays. He may just want to go out and get some game time. But that might be a January thing. They might have to see what happens with these loan signings in January before they commit to anything on that front. But it's a shame, because I think there is a player there, which for whatever reason, whether it's tactical or whatever, we've just not been able to get the best out of him.
Well, sorry, John, he did. So the last 20 minutes, we did end up with 3 up front. So we ended up with him and Amari and Show Silver as well. Which I kind of thought after half time, I thought we've got to do something here, because we're not going to score. It doesn't got any outlet to score or anything like that. So when we put the 3 up front, I thought, yeah, do you know what, this might actually go, and it kind of did. It kind of worked. We didn't score from it. So did it work? Well, we didn't score from it, so probably not so much.
Yeah, and it's. I think that's what the FA Trophy allows you to do, I suppose, is. Well, we don't want to come here and not go for it. So let's stick 3 up top and see what happens. I think I always think when Show Silver and Amari Morgan Smith play together, I feel like defenses should be terrified, but then they're not necessarily. And I don't think they work together particularly well at all. I think when we've got just one of them on the pitch in that role, it just looks so much better. But with Willoughby, he's averaging a goal every 350 minutes at the moment. And Adam Murray's come out and said that his game...
Willoughby or Show Silver?
Willoughby, sorry. His game relied heavily on Mooney, on that that link up with Mooney, their understanding between each other, and the understanding that they've built up previously. And with Mooney injured for the extent that he is, sadly, has that kind of knocked Willoughby mentally as well, and has that knocked Adam Murray's confidence in him to a certain extent.
That's interesting, isn't it? But Moon has played how many minutes? since he's been at the club.
Not
and Kurt's not started many games. He's not been used in a correct system, in my opinion. Yet he still yielded 5 goals. I think there probably is an element to the Mooney relationship because pre-season you could see a serious link up there and some serious promise. But I don't think you sign one player based on or use him based on someone else's availability. I think you've got to try and work around that. But yeah, I'll be surprised if he's here come end of the season. He's not going to sit on that bench. And if we are trying to bring in other players because of an injury crisis, which by the sound of it we are, it might be that, we might have to let 1 or 2 go in order to accommodate that.
I just don't understand, man, the finances. I don't get it.
It's one of those with Willoughby. Some players come here and they work out. Some players, they come here with a reputation and they just don't work out. We've seen that in the past with a number of players. Or players come here and they're terrible and go and have very good careers. One prime example of that is Ryan Johnson, for example. He's had a very good career in the Football League, yet here
he was awful. Bobbins,
one of the worst signings Colin Gordon made.
That's probably the best example, really. I think in terms of players that have then gone on.
Look at him now, it might just not work out. And he could work out really well elsewhere, but I think the challenge is. Well, I suppose the comfort is, we're on about possibly a player not working out, but then we've got the likes of Hemmings here now and Guyassi that do give you that confidence that we are going to start banging some goals in the final third. So it's not as if we're sat here thinking, "Oh my God, what are we going to do?" We have got players here who can do the business. It's just we're quite top heavy up there now with those type of players, pace on the shoulder type of players. Obviously we got 2 target men, like you said, John. I don't think Show Silva and Amari Smith work well together unless you're just going to lump it to them, try and get them to hold it up, get the ball out wide, and they steam into the box and try and get the under summit like you used to do in the 90s. It's not going to work together. Defenders aren't going to be scared because of pace. Put it that way with those 2. They are going to have a physical battle on their hands. I think you need a bit of a different feel up there with that. One other point, we're going to go off tangent here now, Wes. I spoke to a couple of people after the Marine game, and I couldn't see us winning the game after Marine for December onwards, including Chorley. And I thought pretty much Adam Murray was done.
Yeah, he did.
The fact that he's dug in, he's made a massive sign in Hemmings. We've now yielded 3 wins on the bounce.
Yeah,
I've made a lot of observations about Murray in the past, good and bad, very good, very bad. I'm very fair and balanced on that. But again, I think he deserves some credit there on the way he's turned it around and the sign he's made with Hemmings. I think, after that Marine game and the reports I had from you, John, other people that went saying it was the worst we've seen. And I couldn't really see a way forward. The batch of fixtures we got with Chorley, who will be in and around the top 7, South Shields and Fylde, forget the cup game, then Hereford away. I thought Hereford could be a bit of a 6-pointer possibly if things didn't go our way. To yield 2 massive wins and a penalty shootout win on yesterday, I think he deserves massive credit again for just being stubborn, sticking at it and getting on with it. And I have been really impressed again with his interviews of late, of the praise he's given players, some of the reason behind David Davis not playing yesterday, which is very understandable because I think he's massive for us and has to play every game. It's that experience and key for those sort of games. The fact that the way he's changed things, that the South Shields game, I did make the trip up there, but it sounded like a bit of a tactical masterclass. You saw the team and thought, a bit unusual. I thought we might do something a bit better, but it was clear from the outset, energy, getting them on the back foot for pretty much straight away in press, and that's yielded. It could have yielded a 4 or 5 goal win if I'm honest. Look at the highlights. So I think Murray. I know there's people out there who aren't going to be a fan of Murray, who aren't going to like him, and that's just the way it is. That's football fans for you. I wasn't a fan of John Eustace, though he did give us some very entertaining teams at times, performances at times. Yeah. But I think he deserves credit on this because he has got a lot of flack. Some of it justified, in my opinion, but I think we've got to start clawing back on some of this. Some of the chanting at the Chorley game and the Bedford game, I think it's very uncouth and very unnecessary. And I think we need to start showing that there is some recognition for the talents he has got. He's not a talentless manager. He's got a very good track record and he's also coached at some very good clubs. And I think we're starting to see the best of that now. And I'm very positive. I thought 4 weeks ago, the talk of us being 2 points off 4th place and us getting to the top 7, I thought was that some mad pipe dream. Delusional. Now I'm sat here thinking, do you know what? I think we'll give Fylde a good game. We'll get a result there. We'll beat Hereford on Boxing Day. And I think top 7 is a realistic, serious aim for us now. Seeing how January goes with our loan signings. But I think some observations there needed to be said publicly on Murray on that. And fair play to him on that.
So we chatted with Adam Murray before the South Shields game, and he was so honest. It was ridiculous. I said to him, Adam, so you're playing Hemo? And he just said, yeah, why not? I said, what? He's like, yeah. He said, we're just going to go for it. But obviously, it was more than just going for it. Just they were unbelievable against South Shields. They really were. And I'm so glad I was there. And I'm sure, John, you were so glad you were there as well. But yeah, that just went on to show. I think we've moved on so much in what is it, 2 weeks since the Marine game? It's like something's clicked, which is what we wanted. Still waiting for the 4-0 hammering, though. Mind, hopefully it's against Fylde. That'd be lovely. But we'll just see. Just got to keep winning, man. Just keep winning those games and just keep going, getting the point tally that you wanted, and we'll see where we are come the end of the season. It was all about. At the beginning of the season, the problem was we all thought we'll get instantly promoted again. We just thought we'd do that. It'd be easy. Then it turned out it wasn't that easy. And then the fans, I don't think they really were mega pleased with that, to be honest with you. But look, Carl says, here we go. It's not me saying it. Carl's saying, Murray, best manager in the league.
Well, I was... Evening, Carl. Hope you're doing well. I was with Carl at the Worcestershire Senior Cup game. See, I don't hate all cups, and both of us had the chance to chat to Adam, who was watching on from the stands. We had a chat for best part of the second half, really, and he is, as Matt said, he's really honest, really open. He says what he thinks, he says how he feels, and he calls it how he sees it. And I don't think he's been done any favours by the club in terms of the way that they've communicated why he's come in. I think it was seen as we're going to get straight back out of this league, and then what he's been tasked with is just get us in the top 7 and get us competing for the playoffs. I've said this a few times, and I know there's people who disagree, but it is a tough old league this year, and it is a tougher league than it was last year. It's not easy by any means. There's been some bad decisions, which again, him being open and honest, he's admitted he's made some bad calls, both in terms of the way he's asked the players to play, and the way that he's come across in interviews, the things he said in interviews. But real credit to him for having the balls to go, do you know what? I'm backing myself. I'm gonna make a change. I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna make these decisions, and I'm just gonna do what I think is best for the team. And I actually think, as much as I disagree with the way that he's been treated by the fans, or certainly some of the language that's been used, I think it's also given him, in a way, a bit of a freedom, because he kind of thinks, he must have gone home after that Chorley game thinking, what else can I do? I've lost, for want of a better phrase, I've lost the fans, so I might as well just focus on the team, on the way I want to play it, and what I want to do. Yeah. What I would say is looking forward to the Fylde game. That's a hell of a tough game still. Yeah. I know you said, Matt, and I'm pleased to hear that you're thinking positively as well, that we're going to get a result. But if we don't get a result, especially if it's a hard fought draw or hard fought loss, if we come away and on the wrong end of a 1-0 or something, let's not throw the baby out with the bathwater and think, this is all suddenly going wrong, because we've had 2 great wins in the league, and that South Shields one as well as a great win was a really good performance. I mean, I of course hope we go out there and give the best account of ourselves that we possibly can, and that we win the game. But if we don't, let's not just start yo-yoing between things are great and things are awful, because neither's true at the minute. We're steadily progressing, and that's where it should be at this time of the season. Matt, just want to ask you about budget, mate. Really, I think there's a lot of conjecture always amongst the fans around budget, and we've talked about that. Where's this money coming from? You said, where's the money coming from?
Yeah.
We don't know what the budget is, really, do we? We don't know what the players on the whole are paid. I think our top earning players, other than Hemo, which is obviously a bit of a different situation being alone, our top earning players are only just tickling $1,000 a week. We're not one of the biggest budgets in the league, which I think people think we are. I think people think we're top 2-3 budgets in the league, whereas we're not. We're top 6 or 7. So what do you think, Matt? Do you think the club should be communicating a bit more around budget? Do you think that's just something that we're always just going to have to second guess? Do you think what you've seen this season is a good use of the budget? What do you reckon?
I don't really ever going to get numbers from the club on what the budget is, etc. No club does that, do they? I don't think they say, we've got we've got 10 grand a week. We've got 10 grand a week. Yeah. You can only go by what you hear. So I hear that we've got a top 7 budget. I hear that was pretty much spent in the summer, which is probably evident with the numbers of players we've got and the depth we've got. It's not a case we've got a good 13 and it's all youth players, youth loans or that type of thing. There are some decent, we are heavy in some areas. I hear that Richard Lane and certain investors have helped get some signings over the line recently. That's all I've heard. I don't know if it's true or not. This is just rumour mill. I think when you look at where we are at the moment, I think you've got to take into account the injuries and who we've got out long term. Alex Penny, Dan Mooney, Pierce Bird, Jack Clark. Those are 4 players that I'd probably suggest that Adam Murray had in his mind that they'd be in the team each week. They're probably a couple of those are probably a big hitters on the budget as well. So you've got to think of that. Yeah, we are where we are. We have got a serious injury crisis. We've had Tunnicliffe and Davis out injured as well. Don't forget. So it's tricky, really. I think there have been some decisions in the summer that have bitten us on the arse for whatever reason. They just haven't worked out, or you could just tell what was going to happen. It hasn't worked out, but that happens. It's football. But in terms of the club saying the club communication, that's probably the only thing I could go and criticise the club at. Really, I think the communication is quite poor. I think the way the Twitter page is run, I think it could be better. The highlights are awful compared to some other teams. But I think in terms of, we've got 10-15 grand a week on the budget, or we've got 800 grand for this year or whatnot. You're not going to hear that. But I think we've clearly got an ambitious budget for a very ambitious manager for very ambitious plans. It's not as if we're going to make the playoffs. Oh, by the way, we've got a 200 grand budget for the year. And I think we have got some good players here. We have got some good players, and players with Mooney and Willoughby are they're proven players at this level. I imagine someone like David Davis isn't cheap. Very good player, worth every penny we're paying him. Dibble, he probably had offers in the summer, I imagine, or the other summer when he was out of contract. So I think we do pay some good money to these players. But again, on the flip side of that as well, John, it does give you the argument of is there any benefit staying full time in this league, where you could probably pay a player £500-600 a week part time, and he can go and earn £500 a week in his day job, instead of us going, we can't pay £1,100, sorry, because you're earning too much at Hale Zone or what have you. So that's a separate argument to have, isn't it? But I think in terms of knowing the numbers and stuff, I don't think we're ever going to know that. But I believe we've got a top 7 budget, is what I've heard.
That's the age-old argument, isn't it? Should we go part-time? What the benefits of going part-time? We are not going to go part-time whilst we have the academy setup that we do. It's not going to happen. So as much as we debate it, it just simply isn't going to happen. Right now, I still don't think it would be the right thing to do. If we were in this league for another 5 years, maybe. I think a top 7 budget, but a probably top 3 expectation from the fans.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah,
and that's something that I think again, it's all on Murray at the minute. The communication is all on him. There's no one else coming out from the club. Richard Lane doesn't come out, and I understand he doesn't want that much involvement on the footballing side. Dean Holdsworth doesn't come out and talk about where things are. We don't have anything else coming out from the club. We've had one or two. I think we've had 2 post-match interviews from Stuart Watkiss, or maybe 1 post-match, 1 pre-match. It's a hell of a lot to ask of someone to be chief cook and bottle washer, as well as to get this team in a position where they can be competing week in, week out as well. And yeah, I think, but budget-wise, there will always be that conjecture. What I would say, I know I've just criticised Richard Lane for not communicating enough, but think about the positions that we've been in with chairmen that we've had in the past. Yeah. People having, dreams of being a Mr. Burns running the town and their blueprints of a new stadium up behind them and all these things. We could have quite easily gone bust if that had come to fruition, and we'd have sunk God knows how much silly money into that. So I do feel like, having been through these situations where we've had, crazy megalomaniacs, and we've had, situations where there hasn't been any money to put into the club, and we've literally been shaking buckets trying to raise money in the town, that we're in a really strong, sustainable place right now. And number one has always got to be that we have a football club, whatever league we're in. And I think that is a position that is solidified now. I don't think Richard Lane's got any intention of going anywhere, especially as he's trying to buy the ground. I think he's trying to do that with the football club at the centre of it, rather than trying to redevelop it into anything else.
Yeah.
And right now, where we are, on and off the pitch, is it amazing? No. Is it not bad and average and where we need to be? Yeah. It is really. We are pretty much where we need to be right now. And going into Saturday against Files, let's give it everything we can on the pitch and from the stands. And whatever the result, let's be positive about where we are going into a huge derby on Boxing Day.
I'm glad you said that about Richard Lane, because I think he's the best chairman we've had since Newton. I think he's been an absolute godsend for us, and it drives me absolutely mad when I see these people, whether it's on social media, on forums, whatever, having a little snipe at him. It's like you don't know how lucky we are. You go on about previous tenureships and some of the rough rides we had back in, was it 2010, when we nearly went completely tits up. So maybe 6-7 years ago. We've had some very tantalising and depressing times, so I think we're very lucky with Richard Lane. It'd be nice to hear a bit more from the club, whether it's him or Dean Holdsworth, but I think we're very lucky in that retrospect. And like I say, that the ground scenario does sound extremely promising as well. It's another safeguard, because there's all this, he doesn't want to keep us at Agborough. The bloke's behind the ground, and you can't just get these bits of information like you can just go to the shop and get a can of Pepsi Max. There's confidentiality, there's all sorts of stuff. We're not going to know the ins and outs of the football club, sadly, and that's the same anywhere you go. So I think we have got a good chairman. I think what we need to remember, and I think that maybe Murray may have encouraged this a little bit in terms of, he was on about promotion title at the start of the season, but I suppose you're not going to come into a club that's just missed out on promotion pretty much by a whisker to, we could be 10th, we could be 7th. It's going to be difficult this season. But we are in a transition period. How many players we got that started at Southport last season now? So many have moved on. And I think it's a case of new build, new manager, new players. Some things haven't worked out. We're changing things around. But I think we've just got to give it, like someone said in the comments, I think it might have been Peter Nolan about 10 minutes ago, it's a tough league and you've got to be given time. And I think, after Ratcliffe, it might have been, I don't see this actually working out. But he's, like you've said, John, he's shown balls, Murray, and he's shown massive kahunas just to stay here and just get on with it. And he looked like Fury in the 9th round against Usyk. He just looked done, waiting for the referee to wave it off. But he's carried on, and he's come out for other rounds, and he's engaged. So I give him credit for that. And I think we've just got to remember that, we are still in a transition period. It's probably been extended through some injuries and maybe some poor decisions in the summer. But I do think we're on to something now. 4 weeks ago, I thought, like I said, top 7 was a mad pipe dream. Whereas now I think, I think we've got the players here now. We've certainly got a player who's proven at this level. Take last season out with Hemmings. He's always been good for 15, 16, 17 goals anyway. Yeah. So with that, that's massive. And I think him as well coming in has given everyone a massive boost. Just having him at the club, you feel it on the terrace, don't you? You feel it when you talk to amongst fans. You know you've got something up there now that's going to address it. Because that's statistically, that's where we've been poor. We've not been scoring enough goals.
It's true. It's very true. Right. Okay. So can we talk Secret Santa for a second?
If you want.
If you want.
I'm guessing that's a yes by your silence. So imagine you get a Secret Santa at work. This isn't me, by the way. You get a Secret Santa at work, and then suddenly someone gives you this.
Oh, lovely.
Which is done by an actual artist. I mean, imagine in the office, you'd be like, where's the artist gone? Come on, where's the artist? Thanks very much for that. I just thought it was amazing. Look at that. I'll do, won't it? I'll do for a Secret Santa. It's better than socks and smellies and stuff. So yeah. So I enjoyed that one. Also, so if you ever think we're on a bad day, check out the record of this team here. Okay. So, hang on a minute. That's the wrong one, I think. Hang on. Where is it? We'll start with this one. So this is a ladies team in Slovenia. First game lost 20-0. So I was reading, someone sent me this, and I was reading the scores, and I thought this sounds an awful lot like when I started playing for Arley Kings, because I remember we lost our first game 18-0 or something. It's ridiculous. It just gets worse. Pardon?
Were you in goal?
No, I was in defence, which made it even worse. So there you go. And then finally, if you look at the table, the bottom, you can't believe this, but it says relegation group. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 teams in the relegation group. I don't think Zalek have got much chance. They've scored 6 though, not going so great. They've conceded 181 goals. So do you reckon they're the worst team in football in Europe? They've got to be, surely. They must be.
Reminds me of Bewdley's table from a couple of years ago.
They're doing well, Bewdley.
Yeah. After they went down, they had. I imagine a lot of people remember their game where they played against Highgate, and Highgate needed to win 12-0 in order to qualify for the playoffs, and they won exactly 12-0. Which was a bit of a nightmare for Bewdley. Although I am assured there was no backhanders involved.
Well, there's a few seasons ago. You can say whatever you like, John, to be honest with you. So yeah. Jay Barnett. I'm not sure I do, Jay, to be fair with you. But
no.
I'll tell you what, I did at the start of the season, because I think he had a very good 3 months last year towards the end, to the point where I actually started becoming a fan of him, because I used to absolutely lambast seeing his name on that team sheet.
Yeah.
But I think the last 3 months, maybe the last 4 months, actually, he was very, very good. But I think, with Davis, Reynolds and Candela, and you've got Spokes in there as well. He's done well, Spokes. His goals, I think he's probably scored more goals at this point than what Zach Brown did last year. I don't think Brown would be probably the thing we need really to get us out of the league.
No. Goal of the month as well for November. Spokes. That bullet header.
With Spokesy as well, I think what you get is you get something that we've been drastically missing, which is someone who comes off the bench and will try and motivate and general the other players, and that is something that we're really, really lacking this season more than ever. Zach Brown wasn't one of those. Same as you, Matt. I thought that he was massively, massively overrated. I know that there's some people that are massive fans of him. I think Greg Bell, has still got a poster of him up on his wall. But I think, he's okay. He scored a winning penalty for Brackley the other week, but other than that, has he pulled up any trees there? I don't think so.
He's not in the team anymore, I think.
I don't think he's physical enough for this league as it is this year. I don't think he's got the reminds me of that meme. I don't have the capacity. I don't think he's got the capacity to fit into this team and take us forward any more than anyone else we've got. I know a lot of people will disagree on that, but I think he went at the right time.
He doesn't get in over Davis, Candler, and Reynolds for me as a 3.
Not at all.
No.
I agree.
I thought so. Peter Nolan saying about what you just said there, John. There was a trail of 5 on the Switch.
There was definitely no corruption involved, all right?
We're not saying that. That is not being said on this podcast tonight. No way, not at all. Bewdley have a lovely ground. The problem with Bewdley Town, when I used to play Bewdley Town back in the day, we're talking 90s, 95, 96 maybe. 1896, yeah. The thing was, just when December came along, it would just flood. You wouldn't play a game for about 2 months. I don't know if that's still the same. It must be, surely.
Well, yeah, it's the same place. I remember we used to play there at Mostyn. Go a goal up, just boot it out for throwing, get it into the river, slow the game down, annoy them, just really piss them off.
Lose all the balls.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
But the actual setup, I haven't been down there for a few years. I used to go quite a bit when they had the likes of Sean Wright, Richard Burgess, Richard Costello playing for him, Chris Hoff. It was a really good setup. They had a serious team down there back then.
Chris Hoff. Good evening, Chris.
And they're having a good. I don't recognise the players. I'm not connected to local football as close as I was 10, 15 years ago, but it's good to see them doing well. And like someone said there, they looks like they're having a bit of a tot waste with Redditch Borough, who I believe got a decent budget for that level. So no, I wish them well done. It's always good to see local sides do well.
Are we allowed to talk about England on this podcast? Because I noticed that a lot of groups, especially on Facebook, all the non-league groups talk about England, like, you know, their hours and stuff. And to be fair, there's a lot of England fans come from the non-league who go and support them and stuff. Have you seen the price of the tickets for the World Cup final if England do get there?
Yeah.
Well, sorry, Matt,
go on, John.
I'm a big England fan. I'm always try to get to as many England games as I can. Go down to Wembley quite often. I even went to the nightmare that was the game against Senegal at the City Ground. And you know, I was never planning to go to the World Cup next year because of where it is. But what I do hope is it doesn't start a trend, because in 2028, the Euros being here, I'm hoping that if I've got enough loyalty points to get to a fair few England games in the Euros, and I am worried that backtracking of the US on the prices, or backtracking of FIFA on the prices, isn't going to lead to a trend where we're paying 500-600 quid for a ticket to a game at the Euros, because it should never be the case. Football should be affordable.
Yeah,
and of course, World Cup is going to be higher than a Premier League game, but football should always be affordable for people to go to and not aspirational.
I love that. I've just seen the time. We've made an hour, guys. I don't even know how we've done it, to be honest. All right, any other business? Matt, welcome back, mate, again. Any other business from yourself?
Any other business from me? No, I can't think of anything at the minute. No, sorry.
Can I just say, in that laid back posture you've got, you look right like you're actually on the beach. It looks amazing.
I'm on my sun lounger, mate.
Is that what it is?
Got the heating on at 24 degrees, so I'm still in the Algarve. Yeah.
That'll do, yeah. So nothing from you, Matt. That's fine. And well done. You were a very adequate replacement for Dan and Nick tonight. So thank you for that, Matt. I appreciate that. John, any business for yourself apart from, a rallying cry for Filed maybe on Saturday? Nudge.
Of course, I can only imagine that, Matt, that woman behind you's needing a Gaviscon. Just picking up on 2 comments, 3 comments actually. Apart from the screamer at Hereford, he was only so last season. Completely agree. I think he always had a worldie in his locker, and that papered over the cracks. This is Zach Brown we're talking about. Brown 9 times out of 10 pulled out of a challenge. That was my biggest frustration with him. I agree with that. Yeah, didn't commit to challenges anywhere near enough, and I think we need to be really appreciative of what we have this season in terms of Davis and Reynolds. watch Reynolds on Saturday and the way that he goes quite full-blooded into some tackles, and he doesn't get enough credit for that. He commits so well. And yeah, Phil, shame that you're not able to go to the World Cup with the prices, but I completely understand it. I think a lot of people are in that position. And yeah, perfect Christmas. We beat Fylde, we beat Hereford, and England win the Ashes. I think we might wake up after that, but if we don't, whatever the result against Fylde, let's keep backing the lads and keep giving them all the support we can.
I love that. So just to let you know, thank you so much for sticking with us as well. It was quite hard tonight because there wasn't really much going on, but I think we've done pretty well. Well done, guys. Just to let you know, we're doing a mid-season review next Sunday. Someone said about when the podcast would be going live. I've not even thought about it, to be honest with you, because so next hang on. So next Sunday, the 21st and the 28th. So yeah, we can just carry on, can't we? John, if you're around, Matt, if you're around, we could.
If needed, I can be available. Yeah, just be a massively busy diary, but yeah, I'll let you know.
Of course, it's so massive, so die. Yeah, so we'll be looking at that. Hopefully, get all the guys on for that as well. Mid-season review. So if you've got any thoughts, please, get them into the comments next Sunday. Have a great week. It's the week. Is it the week before Christmas? Would you say we classing it as that or not? Or I don't get it.
It's not week Wednesday, isn't it? So yeah, maybe not. Yeah.
All right. Just enjoy your Monday. No one enjoys Monday, so just enjoy that.
No.
So yeah. So let's just do it. I've got to do it one more time. Let's give it a go. Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Matt. That. Thank you, John, as always. And thank you for taking part and being involved. And we've loved having you with us tonight. And we'll see you next Sunday. Yeah, after we've beaten Fylde 4-0. I'll do.